Hey everyone! Welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into the enchanting tale of Little Red Riding Hood. So, sit back, relax, and let's embark on this magical journey together. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a sweet little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She was known far and wide for the vibrant red cloak her grandmother had made for her, which she wore everywhere she went. One day, Little Red's mother called her over and said, "My dear, your grandmother isn't feeling well. I need you to take her this basket of goodies. Be sure to stay on the path and don't dilly-dally." Little Red nodded, promising to be careful, and set off on her journey through the forest. The sun was shining, and birds sang cheerfully in the trees as she skipped along the winding path. As Little Red wandered deeper into the woods, she suddenly heard a rustling in the bushes. Out popped a sly old wolf with shaggy fur and gleaming eyes. "Hello there, little girl," the wolf said, his voice smooth as honey. "Where are you off to on this fine day?" "I'm on my way to visit my grandmother," Little Red replied, her voice as sweet as sugar. "She's not feeling well, so I'm bringing her some goodies to make her feel better." "Ah, how thoughtful of you," the wolf crooned, his eyes glinting with mischief. "But surely your grandmother lives quite far from here. Why don't you take a shortcut through the woods? It's much quicker, you know." Little Red hesitated, her mother's warnings echoing in her mind. But the wolf's words sounded so convincing, and she was eager to reach her grandmother's cottage. So, she thanked the wolf and ventured off the path into the dense forest. Meanwhile, the crafty wolf dashed ahead, his stomach growling with hunger. He reached Grandma's cottage and knocked on the door, pretending to be Little Red. "Who's there?" called Grandma from inside. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf replied, disguising his voice to sound like the girl. "I've brought you some goodies to make you feel better." Delighted, Grandma unlatched the door, and the wolf burst inside, gobbling up the treats and then Grandma herself in one big gulp. With a satisfied burp, he climbed into Grandma's bed, pulling the covers up to his chin. Before long, Little Red arrived at the cottage and knocked on the door. "Come in, my dear," called the wolf, doing his best Grandma impression. Little Red entered the cottage and immediately sensed something was amiss. "Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have," she exclaimed, peering at the wolf in confusion. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, licking his lips. "And Grandma, what big eyes you have," Little Red continued, growing more suspicious by the moment. "All the better to see you with, my dear," the wolf said, inching closer. "And Grandma, what big teeth you have!" Little Red cried, now fully aware of the danger she was in. "All the better to eat you with," the wolf snarled, leaping out of bed and lunging toward Little Red. But quick as a flash, Little Red darted out of the way, racing around the cottage with the wolf hot on her heels. She dodged and ducked, weaving through the furniture until finally, she spotted her grandmother's sewing basket. With a swift motion, Little Red grabbed a pair of scissors and held them up like a sword. "Back, you wicked beast," she shouted, her voice ringing out with bravery. The wolf halted in his tracks, realizing he'd met his match. With a whimper, he turned tail and dashed out of the cottage, disappearing into the depths of the forest. Breathless but unharmed, Little Red rushed to her grandmother's side, helping her out of the cupboard where she'd been hiding. Together, they shared a warm embrace, thankful to be safe and sound. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood never strayed from the path again, and the wolf never dared to bother her or her grandmother. And as for Grandma's sewing basket, it remained a trusty weapon by their side, a reminder of the bravery that had saved them both. And so, with courage and cunning, Little Red Riding Hood triumphed over the big bad wolf, proving that even the smallest of us can be mighty in the face of danger. And they all lived happily ever after. Thank you for tuning in to the story of Little Red Riding Hood. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share and leave a comment below. Your support means the world to us.